a holiday-themed slasher movie starring Mason Gooding from Spyglass Entertainment. I can hear the sounds of 1,000 simps crying out in agony as we speak. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
A masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to terrorize unsuspecting couples. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I went into this movie with the lowest expectations based on the trailers and everything I heard about this movie. But those same low expectations might have actually helped my movie-going experience this time around, because Hard Eyes was way more entertaining than it had any business being.
I don't believe it!
Now, I don't want this video to be about me comparing this movie to other movies, but let's analyze this for a moment. Spyglass has now produced not one, but two holiday-themed slasher movies that are better Scream movies than the Scream movies we've been getting in recent years. Let that sink in for a moment. Maybe the problem isn't necessarily the studio, maybe it's the people that they chose to continue Wes Craven's legacy after his unfortunate passing. Just something to think about. Now, I hate the term self-aware because it's been used so much, with a lot of movies trying to go the meta route in modern entertainment, to the point that it's basically lost all meaning. But Hard Eyes very much knows exactly what type of movie that it's trying to be. And it fully leans into the camp and self-awareness in a way that actually feels refreshing and not cringe.
Jesus fucking Christ, it's about time!
The best way that I could describe this movie is a rom-com mixed with a traditional slasher concept. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's actually more of a rom-com than it is a slasher, which could potentially send a lot of you running for the hills. But the truth is that when this movie actually leans into the slasher stuff, it does not hold back. And what we get is some of the more brutal and creative kills that I've seen in a horror movie in some time. Yes, on the surface level, this movie is about a masked killer stalking an attractive couple on Valentine's Day, and ridiculousness ensues. But what I found most interesting is that unlike a lot of the other slasher movies that Hard Eyes is clearly taking inspiration from, I actually gave a shit about whether or not the two leads in this film lived or died. That's rare. The reason for that is that in this movie there is a bit of heart hiding under all of the murder and mayhem.
Why do you cry?
What we have in this situation are two people, one in which is a hopeless romantic that has been hurt by all of their previous partners, and the other a jaded lover who wants absolutely nothing to do with this godforsaken holiday, even though deep down it is revealed that they secretly do. And the key to making all of this work is they give just a little bit of backstory to each of them. And the crazy part is that it doesn't take much. It's just enough to give us a better understanding of who they are and make the building of their relationship feel that much more authentic. Even more surprising is that the two actors playing these roles, Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt, actually have genuine chemistry. The relationship does not feel forced as it would in a lesser movie. And as I already said, this movie spends a significant amount of time, more than you would think, in the rom-com category. And it does feature a lot of the tropes that are common with movies in that genre.
No, don't like that.
But the good thing about Hard Eyes is that it breaks up some of the romance and awkward relationship stuff with some good old-fashioned murder, death, kill. Basically what I'm saying here is there might be a little something for everyone, considering they are very much towing the line between two genres of film that wouldn't typically go together. It's almost a perfect date movie in that aspect, and on top of everything, it has a pretty infectious Valentine's Day aesthetic. As far as the killer goes, I just want to say that I love the design and the general presentation. This killer is both menacing and memorable. The coolest thing about the Hard Eyes killer, which should have been the title of this movie by the way, is that he is already established by the time this movie begins. Everyone already understands his motives. There is a full-blown manhunt going on with multiple news reports and everything. Again, it's the little details that make the presence of this killer feel that much more important.
I like it a lot.
His actions have gotten so bad that people in the movie are questioning as to whether or not they should celebrate Valentine's Day at all. So the question is, do you let the fear take over, or do you go where love takes you? Outside of all of that, the killer is quite brutal, and the opening scene alone is worth the price of admission. Just a hell of a way to set the tone for your movie, and it does manage to find a balance between the more comedic and horror elements. And yes, I mentioned comedy, and some of you may be under the impression that I am allergic to laughing, and that I just sit around here all day long being miserable looking for the most depressing movies I can find. But that's not the case at all. I actually enjoy comedy in movies when it feels appropriate and organic. And unfortunately, more times than not, it doesn't.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
In Heart Eyes, I won't say that every single comedic moment hit for me, but a lot of them did, and even the ones that didn't take me out of the movie, and that's a good thing. If I had to pinpoint the major flaw of this movie, it's that the twist ending was just a bit too predictable for me. I actually called it way before it happened, because I felt like the movie was foreshadowing things a bit too much in certain scenes. But I will say that the journey to get there was so entertaining that it ultimately didn't matter. Also, this movie does have a lot of those classic horror movie tropes, where someone ends up doing something stupid that ultimately gets them killed. But if you are a fan of slashers as I am, we all know that there are a lot more egregious examples of that than anything you are going to see in this movie. So basically, if you are a fan of slasher movies with a hint of dark comedy, I would find it very strange if you didn't find some kind of enjoyment out of this movie.
That makes sense.
Listen, I hear this almost every day on this channel. You don't like anything. I don't even know why you talk about movies. Heart Eyes is a great example of a movie not being perfect, not even being terribly original, but its execution still made for a somewhat enjoyable ride. Not every single movie needs to be this mind-blowing experience for me. Crowd pleasers can still exist. All I ask is that you put a little bit more effort into them and don't insult my intelligence in the process. Not only a great piece of advice when making movies, but also some great relationship advice this close to Valentine's Day. The love guru, Real Shift, has done it again.
Do I make you horny, baby? Do I?
Bottom line, Heart Eyes is an entertaining, over-the-top, ridiculous at times, throwback of a slasher that just so happens to have a heart of gold under its blood-soaked surface. Similar to how I felt after I watched Thanksgiving, this movie transported me back to a time when it was fun to watch horror movies. Before all horror movies made me feel like I wanted to kill myself after watching them. This movie gave me pretty much exactly what I was looking for out of a concept like this. So much so that if there were any flaws contained within it, they were not noticeable enough to distract me from the fact that I was having a great time. And that's exactly why I'm going to be giving Heart Eyes the pleased Palpatine.
Good.
Y'all be cool. Right on.